So beyond just the talent cuts behind the scenes or talent cuts for like main roster talent and NXT talent and people we see on TV every goddamn week, there was a bunch of WWE releases like behind the scenes as well. Now, I expected a lot of this, and they do this every year, but it's like when TKO absorbed UFC or whatever, when they bought UFC, it wasn't called TKO yet, sorry. When Endeavor bought UFC, they did the same thing. They released like a bunch of UFC people. Like Endeavor had the best international marketing, whatever. So UFC's guy doing it for them. You know, it sucks. He was at the company a long time, but they have like the best person with the best connections, and they're just going to do it for the UFC now, or they're going to train someone, or they have someone in mind that can now step into the role that, you know, and that's what happens. So you had to see this coming. It's crazy. It's more and more of it is happening, but as TKO buys up more, it's going to keep happening. So the coach had this to say. They said, seeing a lot of reactions to more cuts on the WWE side of TKO, many of you, but they just had the highest revenue mania ever. How can this happen? You all have to understand they have been systematically cutting WWE personnel for the last year, and it's been brutal and not talked about much. It really hasn't. They want the company to be a West Coast company. If it comes down to a UFC or WWE person in the same job, it's been the UFC employee that gets the nod, or just TKO in general. The WWE as we knew it and the family workplace for many is long gone, and it really stinks, but it's their company now, and they can do what they want. Talent will be next also. It's true, man. WWE broadcast personality Ryan Popala was a part of WWE staff cuts. I recognize his face. I'm not overly familiar with his work. I don't know. He hosts a podcast or something. But WWE made cuts in several departments, including creative services, photography, and more today. Christine Lubrano, who served as senior vice president of creative writing operations, departed the company. The belief is at least 10 to 12 staffers were cut today, possibly more. And yeah, dude, they're going to get set up in Vegas. You're going to see like an NXT Vegas PC and probably a spot where they will do that residency. And like that is coming. Brandon Thurston has this to say. Thirsty Thurston, he says, on cuts, as hot as WWE and UFC are, TKO is narrowly profitable net income last year, with Endeavor's TKO purchase, debt, and antitrust settlement taking margin down. So you guys got to remember, UFC/TKO. Okay, so they spent the money the last 2 years. Okay, I'm just going to summate it like that. They bought a bunch of. They launched PBR. They're starting this boxing league. They spent so much money on wrestling, MMA, all this, and UFC lost an antitrust lawsuit where they have to pay out. It was to the tune of like $375 million. To all these fighters who are getting like all these fighters sign up and you know that you get a CTE check basically. And it's a huge deal. I mean, this is going to happen to pro wrestling one day as well. It takes their margin of profit down. With that being said, though, this year they're going to make shitloads of fucking money with their UFC TV rights deals and some other things they got going on. Okay. And the sale of Power Slap, which I think could be happening. I don't know, right? Maybe I should hit an X-Files on that because, hey, I don't know. I was only right about AAA over here now, but yeah, I don't think Power Slap, I think that could be sold off sooner or later. But anyways, regardless of that, shareholder value is society's highest priority, so perceived efficiency will always come first. Now, I don't even think it's so much of like perceived efficiency. I just think this is the after Mania cuts, man. This is the spring cleaning WWE does once a year, and you're going to see more and more of that, especially with. You got to think about it. Do people get heat backstage? That can factor into all this too. Do people talk to Sheets that they found out about? That could factor into this too. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know just on face value and stuff like that, you know? Regardless of that, shareholder value is society's highest priority. Yeah. So Thurston, I mean, he's on there from an economic standpoint, I guess. I'm not trying to like own Thurston here either. I'm just adding context. I'm like 2024 to 2025, they spent shitloads of money. 26, they're bringing in ungodly amounts of money again with UFC's rights being up. I'm just adding context. I'm not even hating on Thirsty Thurston there. Not that anybody cares. So what else do we have here? We have the releases. So let's go through the talent names here. Okay, we have the names. I have like a website, Cultaholic, or one of these sites have a list of names that may have a couple extra that I don't have here. But we're going to go through these and talk about each person here and like who we think should stay, should I stay, or should I go now? As far as like under the TKO umbrella and chance it with TNA, you know, because should they do that? Is it worth it? Does TNA not want to do that? They're cutting out blood because they want to please their partners. You got to remember, Nick Nemeth was on like the cusp of, this was before the full-on partnership. So they signed him, whatever. They're going to stick with him. WWE's not going to be like, get rid of Nick Nemeth. It's not like they don't even like Nick Nemeth, you know? Some people are saying, oh, they released these guys to bolster the TNA roster. I don't know about that. I think some people might be weary to sign with them because they're like, oh, fuck, you know? But if you can get paid the same or more that you were getting paid in NXT to go to TNA and still be somewhat under that umbrella, why not? It's not like people don't get second chances. It's not like some of these people aren't young and can't, you know, spend some time developing further. So, but some people have aspirations of the indies in Japan. If it was me right when I was released, so let me tell you what I would fantasy mark do if it was me, but maybe this is dumb business wise, but someone could correct me if I was wrong. What I would do is I would go get like as many independent bags as I could, like really quick while the heat of the name, like, oh, we got this person here. And I would just travel around, get a bunch, as many of like the big bags as I could, test how big my name value is. And then I would just go sign with like one of these companies, like within 6 months to a year type shit, you know? And I would just save all that indie money because you're still getting paid from WWE for 30 days. Plus, these people aren't all dumb with their money. Maybe some of them are, but I mean, it's like, I know Braun Strowman don't give a shit, but let's get into it. Braun Strowman. So sorry, this banner here is cutting off a name or two. So Braun Strowman is at the top of the list, right? Big Braun Strowman was released. So what would I do with him if I was him? He didn't give a shit. There's a post of him just fishing. He's like, whatever. Look at this beautiful lake I'm on. It happened again. You know, he can't go as well as he used to. The shit he was doing though to help get Jacob over was awesome. Let's be honest, like that just helped like propel Jacob even more. And it sort of recreated that void of like Bronson Reed being gone. But again, you have Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, and then Strowman's an older attraction. And people still pop for him big. You know, if I was him, again, I wouldn't even go do like indie shit if I was him. I would just go get. Do you think Tony Khan would bring him in, or would you even want to see him there? Like, it's not like I want to see him in AEW, but he's an old guy where his knees or whatever, and he's good off. I believe he's got a farm and shit out down in like Wisconsin and shit. So he's all good, but he's made a shitload of money. When you have Bronson Reed coming back and like a Jeff Cobb coming in, and it's like, do you really need Braun Strowman? I don't know. I'm not devastated that he's gone. When he was released the first time, I wasn't I was shocked, and I'm a little shocked again this time because it's like, wow, you just kind of brought him back, and they do pay him a good chunk of money, you know. So I get why he'd be released, but it's like, damn, you know. But he's like a former world champion. That's why I say that, or universal champion, whatever you want to say, right? Like, so to me, he got propelled down to mid-carder. They just sort of booked him like Big Show his whole career, and it is what it is. In AEW, what would he do? Like nothing. I don't think he'd fit in there. I don't think like they hate on that style. They already have Satnam Singh. They couldn't do shit with him. Maybe they do like a one-off thing on the anniversary of Brody Lee to like honor him. I'm surprised they never tried to get Braun involved with the Wyatt Six at all. You know, I think that's kind of a fuck up, but like who knows what's even going on with the Wyatt Six right now. Yeah, so if I was him, I mean, yeah, maybe TNA would be the place. You'd go try and get some money there and just help get some guys over and have, you know, they're doing pay-per-views that, I mean, they got 4,000 people. You go wrestle Joe Hendry or whatever, if they'd have him. Maybe they don't want him, and that's the other thing. Maybe he doesn't want to work with TNA because maybe TKO and WWE are gonna start telling them, yo, we don't work with certain people, or like not this guy or whatever. Maybe that's the case. I don't fucking know. Yeah, Braun Strowman will be okay. He's made money. He'll be all right. And I really want there to be another Fed or two. Like there's got to be some crypto billionaire stoner kid out there in LA who's just like, man, I love wrestling. Why don't I make a Fed and actually let fucking people run it who are smart, right? And I'll just play video games, bro. And then that guy can become like the number 3. You know, we got to find another one where that can really mix it up, or AEW's got to fight back a bit here if they want to be because this would be really exciting of like, oh my god, the free agency, but we're all like, we know what Tony Khan will do with these people. I don't know if any of us really want to see that, you know. I don't know if we really want to see
best guys, Tony Khan
people go over there, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Braun will be okay, but I'm struggling to say, like, should he go to Japan? Like, what does he really even do? Dakota Kai got released. Now, this one I think is a fumble. You have Damage Control who are all about to come. Well, first off, let's take another victory lap in the tears of the dirt sheets who are wrong again, freaking out about Nick Khan and the fucking benching thing, because Dakota Kai wasn't being benched, bro. She was being fired. So. And I don't mean to laugh at anybody's misfortune. Actually, this will be Dakota Kai's fortune, because speaking of AEW, she will sign there and she will be fucking fantastic there, hopefully. And hopefully they book her well. And hopefully she wins the women's title. Maybe she's the one to take the TBS title off Monet eventually. I don't know about that. I would save it for someone you're actually building in AEW. But knowing Tony Khan, man, he's just gonna let he's just gonna let one of the WWE ladies do it anyways. So you might, you know. But Dakota Kai, I think, is a fuck up. You have so many stories, even if they kicked her out of Damage Control and that's how she left WWE. You know, like, where the fuck was that? Why didn't you just give us that? That's crazy, man. You know, what if Damage Control comes back and then Dakota Kai challenges for the world title and it's I don't fucking know. They had something there that they could have told, some stories they could have told. Now, some people are like, she's 37. Go fuck yourself. How about that? You guys are going to pull that? They're bringing Jeff Cobbin, who's 42. What are you fucking talking about, bro? Right? Like, don't even start that age shit, because that's where I'll really fucking roast you, you know? Sorry, but it's just got to be said. She's 37. And fucking... Have you looked at some of these people's ages, dude? She could still go. People are saying she's injury prone. Trust me, nobody's harped on that more than me. And I always am like, oh, I hope she stays healthy. I hope she's good. I'm always saying that when it comes to her. And I was defending WWE when she's like, I really want a singles push. I just want to show them what I can do. And I defended WWE. I was like, listen, man, when your knees just go like the ways hers has a few times or a couple times, that bad, man, you can't put it all on that. And this isn't the steroid era. Like, yes, medical science has come a long way, but this isn't like just like Triple H just jack you up and fucking, you know, we'll just pump you full of horse goo until you fucking, or like a science experiment and your fucking meat doesn't fall off the bone again. You know, it's not like those days. So it's just, I get why they're not, it's hard to like push you in that way. But, you know, we're talking about Dakota Kai, who just fucking almost won the IC title, who most people, including me, was like, she should have won it before Lyra. What do you mean? If anything, Dakota's a vet and has 5 years left in WWE, maybe, right? Like 5 to whatever. Like, she should have won it. And then Lyra could have beat her for it, and we could have got more out of that as well. So I will say Dakota's a bit of a fumble, man. I will say that. She can work any style, tag, babyface, heel, single, any match type. You know, she's a great worker. Now, again, the health thing, I'm behind that, but you don't need to push everyone to the fucking moon. I'm not saying she should be world champ and she's going to change the game. And that's what everybody thinks when you say fumbled. No, man, I'm a creative. You guys know that. I always talk about the story here. We fucked up a bunch of story and a bunch of women's tag matches between a split up Damage Control where we need fucking tag teams in the women's division. And this is what I've been harping on. I fucking harp on, I can talk this shit, okay? I harp about the women's tag division all the fucking time, almost once a show. I'm allowed to harp on this. Other fans, I get it. They're like, fuck WWE, we're going to get into some of these wackos. And it's like, man, your passion wasn't that loud to keep these people around. Well, I've been passionate about the women's goddamn tag team fucking division. I get roasted on my own fucking show by Chris Connors because I'm so passionate about the goddamn women's tag division. So I don't want to hear no bullshit from people going, you don't really care. Yes, it's a fumble for the women's tag division. This is a big fuck up here in a bunch of ways. I'm going to break it down. Dun, 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 dunga, dun, dun, dunga. But Dakota, should go to AEW, should get a big bag, should wrestle that limited schedule because of her health. So you fuckers go in her health, wrestle limited. It's not like she's going to die every time. It's not like we're worried about her life ending like we are some of these other talents who get cleared in AEW. Like Dakota, fucking, it's her knees. So she's got to take it upon herself to take care of herself. You know, she's a big girl. She can go, I'm not doing that dumb fucking spot. She can make those choices herself. Yeah, I definitely. But when you have an intercontinental belt and you're getting rid of you're getting rid of talent who are born in other continents, you fucking restarted, Triple H. But for real, I gotta call
idiot.
Fucking dumb, bro. That is stupid. Okay, so Shayna Baszler. I mean, don't be shocked if she shows up with the Bumbaclot clan and Marina Shafir. Like, they're homies. Rhonda did it even. So I would not be shocked at all. We know Tony Khan likes to bring in the shooters and shit. Now Shayna, again, well, no, I am a little shocked by this. You know why? Because of all the work that GCW Bloodsport's done. And Shayna is like, her and Josh Barnett are a big reason why WWE works with Bloodsport. So again, no one's talking about this shit. I'm the only one who talks about this shit, okay? Shayna and her manager, Josh Barnett, one of the GOATs, they are the reason why WWE has such a presence on GCW Bloodsport. So WCW isn't called. GCW brings in all these WWE people. They go over all these people. Even I praise it. We're all praising it. They fire Shayna and not Zoe Stark. Like, what? It's actually kind of dumb. It's like Shayna's a girl that right now you could shed all the bullshit, reinvigorate her career as that lady that she portrayed in NXT, Black and Gold, and she could be a killer again. Zoe's like, I don't know. People are indifferent towards her. And I'm not saying I want Zoe to get fired either, you fucking marks. But again, I'm not the biggest fan of PFC. You get rid of DeVille is one thing. All right, well, she's the third wheel. She fucking gets paid. She was a Vince girl, you know. She got paid good money. That's why she has nothing nasty to say. She was getting paid really well. Shayna and Zoe, it's like, so that's an established team. So Sonya Deville's gone. You have Shayna left. You have Zoe. Okay, well, they're at least still a team that you've tried to establish in this fucking division. Nope. Now they're split up, and I gotta watch Zoe be a fucking baby face going after the U.S. title or what? Like, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? So Shayna, I think she'll go to AEW, Ring of Honor. I think she wants to wrestle Athena. I think she's into that. I wouldn't be shocked if we see her in Japan run the indies. I'm not even saying we'll get an AEW like Baszler's All Elite, but I could absolutely see her going there and like having some matches or doing some, a couple appearances, whatever. And yeah, she has friends in AEW, so I would not be shocked at all. Her and TNA, that would be a good fit, though. Tessa needs some challengers and shit. But I could see it happen. Shayna could sign a short-term thing, challenge Tessa, put her over, So I see her being more of a floater. I see Dakota maybe doing some dates like back in her homelands, but possibly just staying locked up. Like, she should just go to AEW for real. Tony will give her a bunch of money, and she's the type of wrestler he likes, And she has lots of, like, the people there will put her over. She has friends and shit there. Her and Monet, her and Tony Storm. Like, if you're smart, you just see that as like, you could do those matches, no problem. But Shayna, I could see like just teaming with Shafir in Ring of Honor once, or like, just doing shit like that, floating around. I think it's so dumb again that they released her when we're talking like, here's the established teams. So then the next two names, Kayden Carter and Katan Chance, KC2. For months, guys, I'm like, they need to be like your top white meat babyface tag that like overcomes the big bad teams and shit. Like, they actually have cool tag moves. Whenever they have a match, their entrance and shit, people are like, whatever. And then they start doing their moves and the crowd gets behind them. Now, should they go to AEW? I mean, Tony Khan likes that flippy ass style and shit. So, I mean, sure. You have a women's tag division, though. Why the fuck? Unless their plan is, if they just scrap those belts, then good. But you also develop these fucking singles divisions. Like, you mean to tell me Shayna Baszler couldn't fight for the U.S. title and like lend some credibility to that belt and shit? I just think that's wacky, bro. And then you have KC2.
right? Which I've coined that name. If I was them, I stay as a tag team and I go to TNA and I get those knockouts titles and I just stay in that system. And then who knows, maybe you go back to NXT for a crossover. Maybe you go, I don't know, but I would just stay as a team for now. There's more value in them together than apart, I would say, when they leave. And you could easily come up with random names that are called KC something, Carla Carter, or Carla whatever, we just make up fucking names that are KC and KC. And then you call yourself KC2 because WWE never owned that and PWT made that up. And then boom, you're perfect, right? People know who you are. It makes sense. I would fucking do that. AEW doesn't have a women's tag division. God forbid Tony Khan creates a women's tag belts. That would be fucking insane for him to do. But yeah, that is insane. You guys have women's tag belts. If they just scrap the women's tag belts and they take my idea of, hey, at Evolution, we're going to crown women's tag champs once a year, like it's just a cup. Okay, I'm down with that because then singles competitors can team up and be tag teams randomly and go, we're best friends, right? Like in the women's division in WWE, it's just always, oh, we're best friends, aren't we? And then they just team up with the women. And it's like, no, dude, that's fucking annoying. So, but KC2, I think they have value. If they just go to TNA, they'll get pushed. I think TNA would know how to push them better. They're like raver girl gimmick type thing, Yeah, you just go for those knockouts titles. They're established belts. They have tag teams. They know how to book you for sure. And they need more knockouts tag teams there because they're running dry a little bit. Jade gets released. Now, I'm sorry, Lincoln Hawk. Lincoln Hawk's my brother. I'm sorry, Lincoln Hawk. Cora got released. Now, Cora's a girl who you look at as, oh, she's going to be a WWE women's world champion. She's going to be at WrestleMania one day. Like, she's going to be up there with the upper echelon. Like, they're just priming her up to be the future of like WWE, essentially, right? Is the vibes you get from her and her booking. And then all of a sudden, you're gone. You're gone, right? As Jimmy King would say, be gone. Now, people could say injury prone. I'll give you that one because she's early in her career. So you got to think Dakota Kai got hurt really bad, like really bad. I think like 2-3 times, but 37. This is where her age is a factor and her veteran fucking like her tenure. Like she's been wrestling, Cora's like not that deep into her career to be. She got hurt bad twice, And again, as I said, and I don't want to throw allegedlys around, but let me throw an allegedly around, okay?
Allegedly.
I got a DM with someone who just wants to add insight. It's like from talking to someone, the releases from talking. This is the DM I got. So from talking to someone, the release reasons are financial injuries, no space for them. And this is what caught my attention. Anyone who's leaking genuine news to the sheets, take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. And I've been really heavy on that ass. And I told you guys, if what I'm hearing about WWE, the sheets are fucked this year. I tweeted that out, got a lot of traction. And I've been telling you guys, hey, when you have an influx of people coming in, and they might be cultured a little bit different than they appreciate in WWE. But also when you have an influx of people coming in, the WWE talent, especially the young people who are vocal on social media, like that one guy, Keanu Carver or whatever, talk shit about the Samoans. The last thing you want to do in WWE right now, by the way, talk shit about the Samoans, right? You work there. And, some of them might be talking to the sheets. I wouldn't put it past anybody. They might get upset. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm in NXT and they're not calling me up and they're bringing in fucking Rusev or whatever. I'm saying. But Cora, I'm not putting that on Cora Jade either, but hey, the fake rumor about her is that she, is a bit of a shit disturber when it comes to like backstage stuff, right? Some people are like, oh, her and Punk are hooking up. Now, I'm not saying any of that shit's true at all. Absolutely at all. But what I'm saying is like, maybe there is some of that in real life. I don't know. And that could be what's behind it. I am going to give WWE the benefit of the doubt. It's because she's young and has had really bad injuries early. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that. Cora Jade, though, that's why she wasn't called up and they just switched to Roxanne and Julia instead of Jade. They were going bye-bye. So, which is unfortunate. I'm not going to say I'm devastated, but she's got years ahead of her. Like, she can reinvent herself and always come back. TNA would be a good fit. She's already wrestling there. But again, that door might be slammed on her because WWE gave her that opportunity, right? But if I'm any of the people they're sending over to TNA, I'd be fucking worried right now. I'd be worried, dude. Trick Williams even, dog. I'd be not Trick. Obviously, he's too over. They're going to push him, but I'd be worried, man. But anyways, Gigi Dolan, who was recently sent over to TNA a bunch, right? I'm going to check in with chat here, right? But just let me get through some of these. Gigi Dolan, recently sent over to TNA a bunch. Bro, again, you fucked up. Not only was Gigi called up to the main roster when Vince was in charge, then they dropped that shit, but Gigi Dolan was split up from JC Jane, and her and JC Jane should have been women's tag champs on the main roster and shit, let alone they break up. Okay, then they don't do anything with that. They don't really pull the trigger on anyone. They put Fallon Henley in a group with JC Jane and this Jasmine Nix girl, and then it's like, well, what's Gigi doing? Damn, they just fucked up Gigi. So then they put Gigi with Paxley and Shotzi. I'm like, hell yes, they fucking, they did work with Shotzi. Like, they actually did something that gets me interested in Shotzi. Paxley fits well with them. Okay, Gigi Dolan gets released, and then they move Shotzi to the alumni section, and she confirms that they're just not renewing her contract. So they're just not picking her up. And her contract is just done when it's up, and she's just going home now. Like, they're going to pay her out, and she's in the alumni section. Okay, Mako Satomura is there as well, but she did an official retirement, of course, not in WWE. But she's no longer with them. So I was like, oh, maybe she'll be a coach or whatever, or maybe she is a coach, who knows? But Shotzi, though, bringing it back to her, she was just moved to the alumni section and is gone. So this whole Chemical X or whatever they were called, what were they called? Project X or Chemical X or Weapon X or whatever. It's just, that's bye-bye. Right, out of fucking nowhere. And it's like, but you had Gigi with a fucking team that, like, those girls could have went main roster. Like, Shotzi was main roster, Gigi was already up there, right? And then you have Paxley, and it was this weird thing where it was like Gigi and Shotzi are together, Paxley's not there one week, and then it's Gigi and Paxley tagging without Shotzi there these weeks or whatever. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I bet you they're getting rid of the women's tag division. It has to be that. I don't know what else. Or they're just doubling down on making, like, singles wrestlers just like, we're best friends, and, like, we win the tag belts so that we get shots at the world belts, and we win the IC belts so we get shots at the tag belts, which is fucking dumb. I don't care who's booking that. That's stupid. Okay? Like, either double down on the division or get rid of the fucking belts. Okay? Once a year, a women's tag cup. That's what you got to fucking do. But anyways, though, dude, Gigi's gone, so now, and then Shotzi's gone. So I was like, okay, maybe Paxley and Shotzi are gone. No, they're both gone, just Paxley. So now we have to explain how, and you guys have to understand, if you're watching NXT and shit, this is like, what the fuck? I get it. There's a bunch of people who don't watch NXT. So they're like, oh, who cares about? It's like, no, they just fucked up the whole show. Like, a bunch of the show, for real. They spent so much time with a bunch of these characters on the show. Okay. And us, like, having to get reinvested into some of these people that I didn't think I'd even, like Gigi Dolan. I was like, fuck, man. They just sort of, she's just gone with the wind now. And now they figured something out. Oh, I'm into Gigi again. Boom, gone. What the fuck? No. You don't get to just be like, I don't know these people. So Gigi, maybe she'll go to TNA's. Wentz is there. Do I want to see her in AEW? I don't give a shit where she really goes anymore. If her and Shotzi stay in a team, though, and go TNA for the Knockouts belts, but what are all the teams that they just cleared out supposed to go for the Knockouts tag belts? I'm losing my shit here, guys. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. It is a fumble. They fucked up the whole women's tag division. They really fucking did in that regards. Now, if they're just scrapping it, okay. But some of these storylines they could have paid off. You mean to tell me Dakota Kai couldn't have had a storyline before she left with Damage Control? They couldn't have even ricocheted her. Asuka comes back, turns her back on Damage Control, stomps the shit out of Dakota Kai. She's gone forever. Io Sky has to fucking fight her now. Asuka versus Io for the world title or whatever. Kyrie turns on Io, whatever. Drops 4 insane elbows on Dakota. Dakota's gone. You mean they couldn't have done one thing? Like, come on, bro. That's fucked up. That's a bunch of storylines getting fumbled. And I don't care who has what to say about it. You know what I mean? I'm going to stick to that. I'm not saying these are all game changers, man, but I'm the guy who said it. Don't be shocked if Miz gets released, guys. Okay? And other people, like, I'm willing to fucking go out on a limb and say shit like that. And people are like, Miz will never get released. Don't be shocked, man. Next year, there's always next year, right? And they're making more and more cuts, and maybe they're just not interested in having like mid to jobber type. They want to present everyone as a threat to the title or in a title contention. And if maybe they're just looking at these people like, hey, we're paying Cora more than other NXT people who are better than her. That's the other thing too. WWE's the cool place. You have Stephanie coming in and Julia, and maybe they're just looking like, well, we don't really need some of these ladies. I'm not dissing, but Zelina Vega's running around on SmackDown with that U.S. title. Like, come on now. You got Stephanie, you got Julia, you got other ladies Roxanne Perez, who can like really work, you know? So anyways, let's get back to this. Let's get back to this list here. So Eddie Thorpe, he's a bit of a wild boy. Maybe he'll go back to Japan. I'm not like uber shocked by this one, but it is weird because they like reinvented him kind of as a DJ, and then he like had the strap matches, and he just also got a win. Didn't Eddie Thorpe just beat like Trick Williams or something too not long ago, bro? Craziness, man. Craziness that they would just like, if you watch NXT, this is like, what the fuck? Eddie Thorpe is gone, you know? And then they just brought Chase U back, but they fired Ridge and shit. Not Ridge, sorry, Duke Hudson. And it's like, what the fuck? And then just to put Chase U back together. Like, well, what the fuck is the point? It's so dumb. Some of these moves in NXT, I don't know. And I don't know if some of these people talk to Sheets and shit. You know what I mean? And Eddie Thorpe has been vocal on Twitter a couple times about shit, and I don't know if they like that. Shout him out again. Where does he go? TNA, I think he'd be a good fit there. Good fit in TNA. Maybe Japan again. I don't know. Japan, because that's just a given. Like, if you go to TNA or AEW, you're allowed to go to Japan. You know, if you go anywhere, fuck. WWE lets you go to Japan now, you know? You're allowed to go to Japan. So, yeah, I don't know if he should sign to any company or if any indies will want him or anything. He's also like a DJ. Like, I think that's a shoot side gig. So, I mean, he'll probably just parlay it into that. Javier Bernal. I mean, whatever. I'm not. That's just like a guy who's been in NXT just kind of floating and he just doesn't make the cut. Okay, that's not like devastating. I don't even, not overly familiar with him. Oro Mensah. Now, again, they split up the metaphor. So, you know, Noam Dar comes back. He wins the Heritage Cup. Lash Legend is like, Noam, you know, we got to split up the metaphor on the last NXT. We watched the clip on the last live show. And it's like, we got to split up. Like, I'm going to focus on me. Noam's going to do his thing. Oro, you need to be seen as the star you are as a solo. Yo, Jakara, you're going to do your own thing. You know, first off, Jakara is so good. So good. Like that. You think that the metaphor is as good as they are without Jakara there with her lollipop in the back? Like, come on, man. Her and Lash Legend together. Like, okay, Lash Legend's a big, strong, giant girl. We fucking Rhea Ripley, what? Jade Cargill, what? Bianca Belair, what? Fucking Piper Niven, what? We got a bunch of those, bro. What made her dope is that she was that in the tag team with Jakara. Metaphor, okay, they split up and the Meta Girls do their own thing. And that's one thing, storyline-wise. I was interested to see, Jakara, maybe the draft's coming up. And so Jakara goes to Raw and Lash goes to SmackDown, and that's their plan. No, bro, they fucking fire Oro Mensah, okay? Now, he's decent, but it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Why axe a super over entrance? Like, everything that sports entertainment, WWE wrestling fans love is like cool entrances and music and characters and all that shit. That's what Metaphor was. Split that up, that's one thing. But then to just, again, the women's tag division must be gone, because I know I'm jumping ahead, but Jakara Jackson, gone, man. And so is Oro. And so you have Noam and Lash that they want to push on their own. Cool. I mean, I'm down with that. Pretty insane, man, that was just on TV. Like, that was their farewell. And then WWE didn't even tell them that was their farewell. WWE didn't even tell them that was their farewell. They went and did that segment, and then they get released fucking 2 days later or whatever. That's pretty crazy, bro. You know, to give us that moment on TV. And if you've been watching NXT, you're like, well, what is Metaphor going to all do from here? I'm curious. Where do they all go from here? Oh, they're just gone. Show's over. It's like, bro. You got to be real, you know? We'll jump ahead a bit, then go back just a little bit. Riley Osborne just got released. So he's a guy that they've been sending to TNA since the beginning of this whole shit. Okay, he was in Chase U. This one I saw coming. But then they put Chase U back together. So why the fuck did you let go of Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne? Because you have some fucking LFG kids or some Evolve kids who could take their spots for less money and be in Chase 2? Like, come on, man. Why even put that shit back together? That's so ridiculous, man. And then Thea Hale just stagnates because of it. And then Andre Chase. It's like, how did he make like, how the fuck is all Chase U go? And then they revive Chase U with Andre still. It's just, I don't know, weird to me, man. But I'm not shocked by that one. And then finally, Gallas, Wolfgang, Mark Coffey, and Joe Coffey, who they've been using to get over on Evolve. Like get young guys over on Evolve to train young talent, which they've been doing forever. They literally helped get The Rock in shape and train The Rock and get ready to come back to pro wrestling. And then they cut them. So that's pretty savage, man, because Wolfgang, Mark Coffey, and Joe Coffey literally helped The Rock get back in ring shape and go over his matches and his match and shit for the for WrestleMania last year. And yeah, they do a lot of like working with young talent and stuff at the PC and getting people over on Evolve and making younger guys look credible. And they seem to fit well in that role. But for some reason, WWE just said fuck them and they're gone. So it is what it is, man. I'm not like devastated Gallas is gone. They would have been cool in the tag division. Like if you have Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and you have some of these teams, right? Like Fraxium and shit, then I think the Coffey brothers could have worked on the main roster as a duo, maybe on the world tag title side, you know, as like the mid-lower team got that. And that's totally fine. They'll be okay. I 100%. So I didn't predict for some of these people like Javier Bernal. I don't know where he goes. Oro Mensa, TNA, I think would be a good, just go to TNA if he could, like just character wise. That's what he does well. And that's what TNA does well. Riley Osborne, I mean, I don't fucking know. I have no clue where he goes or what he does. Jakara Jackson, I think if I'm AEW, again, they don't know how to make stars, but I'm scooping her up and developing her into a fucking star. You know, like she's someone that I'm building up over the next 3 to 5 years as like, she's going to be one of our main people in 3 to 5 years, you know? And that's what I always thought for Lash and Jakara. I saw them both as they're going to have a tag run, then they're going to split up and they're going to both have fucking awesome singles runs. So even with Cora going and some of these ladies, it's like, what the fuck? The Kofi brothers, I am willing to bet money we might see all of Gallas, like the grizzled young vets or whatever. Like we might see all the Gallas boys in AEW, but like Ring of Honor. They'll go fight for like the tag belts and the pure titles. But again, I see them like I see Shayna Baszler. Like I don't know if they're all elite, but I see them being guys who like wrestle on the Jericho cruise and fight for the Ring of Honor tag belts and, you know, maybe do a spot in Japan, maybe go to TNA, maybe, you know what I mean? Like they'll be guys like that. I think they'll float around, or maybe they just get signed straight up to Ring of Honor or whatever. Danny Palmer is the girl. Yeah. So she should go to AEW, and I'm going to tell you why. Danny Palmer, every time she wrestled in NXT, and you can go back and listen to my reviews, not that you see too much of her, but every time she wrestled in NXT, my joke was like she was doing her AEW tryout match. Right? Like she just go in there and start doing all the buck shit and just do it. Like she goes in there and just starts fucking flipping, landing. She's missing flips, landing flips, you know? So that Danny Palmer girl 100% should go to AEW. They'd love her there. Tony Khan would be like, this is great. Yeah, you know that Tony's licking his lips over this. You know he's going to bring in a handful of people. Right? Her BF is Tank. I don't know. Every match of Danny Palmer and Evolve is terrible. Yeah, bro. That's why she should go AEW. She's always doing her AEW tryout match, bro. That's how we word it, right? Like she's always just doing ridiculous shit where you're like, why would you do that and shit? So I'm not hating, but yeah, I'm not crying over that one. So that's the one where I guess it's like we'll wipe our hands of it. So Nixon Newell, Tegan Knox WWE, Tegan Knox WWE still says, imagine releasing talent like that. Place is fucking insane. So she's taking some shots fired, dude. She's
you fucked up! You fucked up! You fucked up!
Scarlet Bordeaux says, yes, Chamber of Horrors will continue with Shotzi and I. We just filmed Return to Hill House, Goatsman Bridge, 1322 Maple House, Sally House, Garnett. Yeah, my wife's into all that shit. Coming soon. Yeah, good for them. I'll give them a like. Good that if Shotzi can stay on. Is that a WWE produced thing? I forget. But Elayna Black, FKA Cora Jade, says, see you in 29. And she says, dropping out of high school at 15 to chase my dreams was scary, but I'm so thankful it worked out for the time that it did. I got to live out so many childhood dreams, go so many places, do so many things. And most importantly, I met some of the most important people in my life that I know I'll have in my corner forever. Yeah, I mean, if I was young like Cora Jade, though, I'd just be like, I'll be back. Give me 3 years and you'll see me back there, you know? I would just talk mad shit like, unfortunately, it didn't go how I envisioned, and I'm disappointed by a lot of things, but I can look back with no regrets and know I did everything with love and passion and always stood up for myself, even in the times I was scared. I'm proud of myself for that. With all that being said, trust that this is not the end and only my new beginning. I have a lot to say when the time is right. No, so she's going to burn the bridges. I have so many ideas, and I'm excited for the future. Yeah, I bet we see her in AEW doing all of her ideas. That's the vibe I'm getting from this post. Take the bag to live out all of her new ideas or whatever. Because let's be real here. It sounds like she's like, I stood up for myself a bunch. So she might have been one of these folks with problems in the back, you know, on her end. I have so many ideas and I'm excited for the future and to be able to show what I truly am capable of. Elayna Black is back from the dead, bitches. See you in 30. And then tweeted out a picture of herself holding a Divas title when she was a kid. And yeah, see you in 29, she says. So 29 days. And yeah, it's 30-day no competes, not 9. That girl, get your GED. So King Coda, Charlie girl, says that she's trying to get through all the messages, and man, whether it's from friends, family, colleagues, coaches, you guys, I feel like the luckiest girl in the world. That's the stuff that matters. I got to make memories, create the best friendships, and travel the world. I'm beyond grateful for the opportunities. Gonna take a little time, but just know we are far from done. I've been ready. Let's go. And then she goes, notes app makes me cringe, but the point stands. Yeah, Natty's like, I'm so excited for you to train in the dungeon. Let's keep building. Yeah, she'll be good. Dakota is gonna land on her feet. And yeah, she could even use the name King Coda. She fucking should use the name King Coda or like Charlie Coda or something like that. That would be awesome. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was WWE releases and WWE news for tonight.